Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes. Hi,
My name is
Marlene.
Hi, Professor Jean-Claude. How are
Nice to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you. So my name is Marilena Cabral, and I'm really honored to be your moderator today for this important webinar, where we will learn more about the Frontiers Planet Prize. And so this event is hosted by the African Academy of Science in collaboration with the Frontier Research Foundation. And we're really pleased to have institutions and researchers joining us today. So I will share a presentation that you can follow what we are doing today. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. So first, very short introduction just to let you know that so we are here together today to learn more about the Frontiers Planet Prize. So this is a global science prize recognizing breakthrough research aligned with planetary boundaries, launched by the Frontiers Research Foundation on Earth Day 2022. And it awards 3 international champions. So you will learn more by Professor Jean-Claude Brueggelmann that will give us much more information. So it supports science that helps keep humanity within Earth-safe operating space. And the prize process is based on peer-reviewed research and expert jury selection. So today we will have 2 speakers, Dr. Peggy Oti Boateng, Executive Director from the African Academy of Sciences, and Professor Jean-Claude Brueggelmann, Director of the Frontiers Planet Prize. So just some housekeeping. So all the microphones have been muted. But you are all welcome to put questions in the chat, and this you can do it during the whole meeting. We will have a time later for questions. So the objectives of this meeting is really to introduce African institutions to the Frontiers Planet Prize, highlight the relevance of the prize to planetary health and sustainability in Africa, explain the submission and selection process. We will also have the possibility to have a presentation about how AAS is supporting your participation. And this we will not have today, but we will talk about other experience of African participants. So the agenda today, so the welcome and introductions, an overview of the Frontiers Planet Prize by Professor Jean-Claude Brueggelmann from the Frontiers Planet Prize, AES role in supporting African institutions with Dr. Peggy Oti Boateng, and then we will have an open Q&A. So I will now hand over to Dr. Peggy Boateng to officially open the session.
Thank you, Marilena, and thank you, Professor Jean-Claude, for your, continuous interest in AAS to organize this. I'd also like to welcome all the participants online and also for your interest. I'll just go very quickly. I just have a few slides, if I may, Marilena, about the AAS. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Present a few slides. So if I may, I'll just share my screen. Hopefully it will, or otherwise, okay. Okay. Share. Can you see my screen? Hello? Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much. This is just a quick overview of the academy. We are. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. I think my slides are jumping. Anyway, Just as an overview, we are Continental Academy, formed in 1985. So we're actually 40 years this year by prominent scientists. We have 34 fellows. We also have another category called Honorary Fellows, which we give to eminent scientists, and most of them have been well-renowned presidents, including Salif Johnson, Kofi Annan, and others. We are a Continental Academy, and we are the only Continental Academy that enjoy the presence of the African Union on our governing council. We have over 70 fellows and affiliates, and I'll encourage all young people to join the affiliates group. I'll also encourage all, mid to late career researchers to also join as fellows, but also particularly to also, join this new initiative, which we co-organizing with the Planet Prize. We have, 10 categories, of disciplines, from agriculture also to science policy. I won't go through this, we'll keep this here, which means that this really, resonates with the Frontier Planet Prize areas of interest, in particular in environment, biosciences, even things linked to environment and medical sciences. So all the 10 areas, are really potential areas where we call for nominations, not only in the academy, but also for the prize. We have 3 tripartite mandates: recognition of excellence, providing think tank advisory, and also implementation of STI program. I'll just go quickly to some of them. One of our flagship, programs which we have, we have, it's in, the ARISE program. And the ARISE program is the African Research Initiative for Scientific Excellence for Sustainable Development. It recognizes young mid-career researchers to conduct world-class research. And this is funded by EU in collaboration with the African Union, which means that we're developing cohorts of world-class scientists. And those of you online, I'll really encourage you to get involved in the Planet Prize, because you stand a very good chance of being in the Africa Prize, but also to grow you in terms of the global North and South Prize. And then, Professor Bourguignon is here to actually tell us more about that and the criteria for it. The ARISE is looking at 5 big areas: capacity building for science and higher education, public health, innovation and technology, and green transition. This is the first stage. And as I speak, we have also had an approval from the EU for a second stage. And we're hoping that we'll be able to launch, the Planet Prize, in upcoming meeting and the announcement in Ghana. And I hope Professor Bourguignon, you'll be there, to announce it, the prize. We also have postdoctoral training initiative where we give opportunity to, again, young and upcoming career researchers to spend 1 year in the US and come back and continue the research in their home country. Again, we've developed quite a number of cohorts in this, but as you can see, from all the presentation, we don't have many women. So we encourage young women researchers to aspire to be in this program, but also especially in the Planet Prize, which we're co-organizing with the Frontier. In conclusion, is that the AS invites all universities, those of you online, research institutions, national academies that, across Africa, to get involved in the Planet Pride, and especially areas of planet and earth system science research, to participate in the Frontier Planet Pride. Either serving as a national nominating body, or your institution can highlight groundbreaking African researchers led by young Africans, or elevating your contributions on the global stage. This initiative also has fostered valuable network opportunities for researchers from Global North and Global South. And by doing this, we hope to strengthen collaboration between Africa and other continents, but especially between young researchers and those researchers who have made it, so that we'll be able to grow world-class African scientists. And we look forward to your participation. So thank you very much, Marilena. Marilena is in charge of this program, and thank you very much for making all the arrangements to have this this webinar. And also thank my team, Roland and Joseph, and all of you doctors on the meeting or the webinar, and we are available for any questions. So thank you very much. Over to you, Marilena. You are muted. You are muted, yeah.
Sorry for that. The bricks of technology sometimes. Thank you, Dr. Peggy. Really, it's always a pleasure to hear about the things that how AAS can contribute with and support all researchers. So we'll now hear from the Frontiers Research Foundation, who will provide an overview of the Frontiers Planet Prize, its origins, mission, and relevance for global sustainability.
Okay.
Please welcome Professor Jean-Claude Brueggemann, Director of the Frontiers Planet Prize.
Okay, thank you very much, Marilyn. And thank you very much, Dr. Oti Boateng, for the nice words. And as you say, indeed, it is very important for us to be able to say that we do what we can also to get out of Africa the best possible science. And we are really, really pleased that we can work with the African Academy on it, because you have been doing a great job, and I'm sure we will be doing more in the future, because we, as you know, from the president of the African Academy, we have plans to come up with regional events in Africa, but I will come back to that later on. So I don't think, and by the way, thank you, Marilena, for all the good work for preparing all this, because it's always a lot of work, so thank you for that. So I don't think you got our slides, so I will... if you don't mind, I will share my screen. I will first look for the slides. Just a second. Because I was in Zoom the whole morning, so I need to find it in Teams. So I need to find out how it goes in Zoom again.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, here we go.
You got it now? Nicholas, has he got permission to share? All right. Right.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Good. Thank you.
You have it?
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, thank you. Just put it in slide mode.
Voila.
Thank you.
You still hearing me? Okay, there we go. So I have 30 slides. I will not say everything, because already some significant things have been said by Peggy and by Marilena, but I will walk you through why we did it, and then explain you what the procedures are, because I see you have a significant audience there. So the Planet Prize is in essence very simple. It's a prize created in 2022 to address the problem of the planetary health, which is, as you know, and I will come back to that in a second, not exactly in optima forma. The founders of the Frontiers Research Foundation, which are the CEOs of the Frontiers Publishing Company, they decided to invest part of their profits into speeding up the competition and speeding up the science that we need for redressing the planetary boundaries. The prize is held on an annual basis and via an Olympic-style competition. I'll come back to that in a second. Rewards 3 times $1 million for those who get it, which is, as you know, a lot of money. So the money, you can only use the money for your science, so you cannot buy a car. I'm sorry for that. Not even an electric one. So you need to reinvest the money in your science, in however you want to do it, on condition that it goes back to the ideas that you have developed in the prize. And the whole idea of the prize is that the more we can bring together scientists from all over the world to work on this issue and to bring to the surface the excellence that is behind it, the quicker we will find solutions, because we simply cannot wait until the normal cycle of knowledge will find the solutions for the planetary crisis. The normal cycle takes between 30 and 50 years, and we don't have it, so we have to speed it up. That's the whole philosophy of the prize. It's a kind of a mega booster for planetary boundary science, for sustainability science, in order to speed up the search for solutions.
Yeah, Prof, can you put it in a slide mode? It's in presentation mode. Slide mode?
Just a second.
Yes, better. Thank you. And then yeah,
Okay.
the slides. Yeah.
There we go. So, but now I see a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
there.
so just slides. Yeah.
No. Where am I now? Okay. So, but you also see the notes, no? What do you see actually?
Yeah,
Yes, we
see
can
the
see.
notes.
Yes, we can see.
That's not what I want.
Yeah, Professor, I
Yes,
can see that I have received your presentation. Do you want me to show the slides for you?
that's probably much easier.
Okay, let's do that
Thank
then.
you.
Let's change. Okay, you're welcome.
So then, to go on whilst we are waiting for the PowerPoint to be beamed up, is that so the whole idea of this is just like we did with COVID. You know, we tried to the whole world of science work together. They share the results in the articles, and in record time we managed to find vaccines. I know that the political dimensions of it are not always the ones we wanted it, but that's not the point now. The point is that when we collaborate together as a scientific community, we can be very quick in finding the solutions. So the way it works is that on a national basis, national champions are identified by a jury. I come back to that in a second, and out of them, international champions, 3 international champions are selected. Next slide, please. So next slide, we go to 4.
Not really not. Just hello, you are on mute. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, voila. So this slide shows you the scope of the problem. The scope of as you know, for the planet to be healthy, there are 9 boundaries, like climate, like acidification, like ozone, and so forth. And those boundaries cannot be transgressed. And if they are transgressed, we need to bring them back. So the idea of the prize is that we are looking for science that can avoid the green going into red, and if it went into red, to bring it back. And we are at the critical phase there, because already 6 of the 9 boundaries are being transgressed, and that, as the scientists say, might stabilize the whole planet very quickly, as we know. The World Meteorological Society said 2 weeks ago that we will almost certainly shoot beyond the 2%, the 2 Celsius for the planetary yield as an average, which is way above the 1.5, which is supposed to be healthy. So we are facing a problem there. I mean, you can deny it, you can close your eyes, but it won't go away. Yeah? So as a scientific community, we have to work with that basis. But that is the scope of the prize. So science that can contribute to diminishing the red or keeping the green. Green is the signs we are looking for. Next slide. So the mission is that we mobilize you, the scientific community. That's why we do a dedicated effort for like today. That's also why we are extremely grateful that institutions like the African Academy of Science work with us, because they know Africa much better than we do. We hope to ignite new ideas, and of course, we hope to catalyze solutions. Next slide. So the next slide is that if that's the metaphor we like to use, is that we are a drop in the ocean, and it's a bit like a butterfly effect, but it can have a ripple down effect that can be gigantic. If more universities start looking into it, more scientists, more academies, it's been taken up by policies, it's been taken up by businesses and so forth. So you see a catalyzing, which is very big. Next slide, and go immediately to slide number 8. So the way we select nominations is very simple. So at the national basis, it's a quite unique mechanism compared to the Olympics. At the national basis, universities and scientists nominate teams that can participate in the prize. The nomination is based on a published article 2 years before the delivery of the prize. So for next year, it will be in 2024, 2023. And that nomination process is then aggregated at the national level, or if there is no national level, at an international level, like the African Academy or the International Science Council. And out of those nominations per country, 3 proposals can be made to the jury. The jury, who works in full independence, selects out of these proposals the national champion, and out of them the international champion. So a little bit like the Olympics. So you can run a marathon under 2:15 in your country. You're allowed to go to the delegation, and then in the Olympic Games, you compete with all the others who can do it, and then the first 3 get a place on the podium. Next slide. And we are quite successful in mobilizing here universities from around the world. If you look at the figures, the first year we had 233 universities participating, the second year 475, and now we are already above 610 universities. So we do not accept individuals to submit something. You have to go to your university in one way or another, and the university needs to nominate, because that for us is a guarantee that the nominations are part of the scientific ecosystem. But you see a growing amount of universities being part of the competition. Next slide. We also have, as you can see there, we have now 224 national academies on board. Some of them, like ASAF, and some of them are missing. But anyway, so it's a growing community. And as I said, for countries where there is no national academy on board, we use or the African Academy or the International Science Council to make the selection. Next slide. Very important in everything is that the selection of who has submitted an excellent article and who can be rewarded the title of national champion, or even better, get 1 million. That process is completely controlled independently from the Frontiers Foundation, but is completely controlled by an independent jury of sustainability scientists under the leadership of Professor Rockström, which I'm sure you all know. They decide in full autonomy every year on the national and the international winners. And it's really important for us to keep it that way. We do not want to handpick. We want the science that gets nominated to be recognized by the scientific community, these 100 people, as to be top of the bill in the world. Next slide. We also have an advisory board of distinguished people. You see the president of the African Academy of Science there, helping us in strategic decisions, and we consult them if we have issues about conflict of interest or underrepresentation and so on. So it is a quite unique academically run exercise by a foundation, but it still is mainly an academic exercise. So if you go then into the mechanics and go immediately to slide 14, please. So you can click on that, Marilena. So it's very simple. On 22nd of every year, we issue the call for the next competition. The national nominating bodies, please click, Marilena. The national nominating bodies, so the universities, register if they have a good candidate. Once registered, they stay on board for the decade, so to speak. The academies aggregate, so that's the third block. The academies aggregate all the nominations at the national level. They make, according to the criteria which the jury uses, they make the selection. That goes to the jury of 100. That then we are talking towards the end of the year, after the summer, and that leads to the award ceremony, which we will now have next week in Switzerland. So it's a very simple but a robust mechanic. Next slide. The criteria, that's important. The criteria for the prize are essential to understand what can I submit as an article in the competition or not. So we are looking for world-class science, and that can be from a world-class university or from a very small town university. What counts is the article, but the science has to be impact-oriented. So we are not looking for another description of the problem. We are looking for what can we do to make the planet healthy again? What can we do to bring the red back to the green and avoid that the green goes into the red? So that is really essential. It has to be impact-oriented. It has to have the potential for a breakthrough, and it has to be globally scalable. So not a micro solution only applicable to the local environment. The next slide. You can skip that one. Next slide. And just to give you an example, and it's really interesting to see what kind of people want it and with what topic. So if you look at the countries, these are not the usual suspects. This is not the Ivy League from the US and Oxford and Cambridge and Bern and Zurich. Sometimes they are there, but not all the time. So you see here from all over the world, groundbreaking research being celebrated. The Turkish one, for example, developed a novel chemical process that enhances the carbonization of cement and also to make it much more carbon neutral. The South African lady from Cape Town University determined which invasive species should be removed to reboot biodiversity and how to restore freshwater systems. Her team, together with Mark New, her professor, won the prize, got 1 million, and as a result of it, they created the first lab in Africa on that topic, and so on. So you can see here, it's not the usual suspects. It's not all the deans or the senior professors from the top universities. It is scientists working around the globe on the problem with a novel idea. And for example, the Argentinian winner who got 1 million last year, Pedro is from a relatively unknown institute in northern Argentina, works more or less, not even a professor, so he's a postdoc, but his science was estimated to be of such a value that he got 1 million. So as a result of it, he can really develop his whole scientific program much more easily than before. So that's important. The prize is designed that anyone can compete from whatever university at whatever hierarchical level and irrespective of the gender. So you see a gender, Peggy, you see a gender imbalance here, but I can assure you this year the balance is much better. But you will see it next week. Next slide. These are other examples. Let's skip it. Outputs of the third edition. So here you have the champions of the third edition. So those who we will celebrate next week. And there again, you see from several new countries are on board now, like Mexico, like Saudi Arabia, and so on. Several much younger scientists are there as well. 40% of them are female, and the 3 winning ones are quite surprising, but that I cannot reveal you. I will tell you, you will hear it next week. Next slide. And this is for me an important slide because this is a slide that shows you that this is not a prize somewhere happening in Switzerland and scientists pleasing each other. You can see that we are a growing, thanks to the prize, we have a growing community, 10,000 participating scientists in 3 editions. We have 43 national champions, so 7 international ones. Next week, we will have 10. The foundation has invested a lot of money in that. We have a lot of universities participating. We get a lot of pickups in the media. We have a lot of citations of the science that has been nominated in policy documents. And by the way, so this morning I got an analysis of a study that the national champions, so those that you see there, so you see me in the middle and next to me the CEO of the foundation, and then well, that's actually Johan Rockström, and then the lady is the CEO. Well, all these national champions, we did a study for the first 2 years. Their research, since they got the prize, has been cited 33% more than the average that they can compare to in their discipline, which shows you that the prize is being notified, that in academia, people see it, but also in the world of business, in the world of policy, increasingly the prize is doing what it wants to do, have an impact. Next slide. Well, go to down. Thank you, Mark. You can go to 27. So here, again, so if you want to compete, register now as soon as possible. You can apply. It takes you 40 minutes to apply. So the formula that you have to fill in, then you have to attach a PDF of your article. You have to make sure that your co-authors are agreeing with who is lead author, first author, etc. That's all what you have to do. But all that takes you 40 minutes. And that application process is running now. So if you think you are eligible, please start working on that. We want by the 1st of November the universities that you belong to nominate you or not. Then it goes to the academies. They have to nominate their 3 potential national champions by the 1st of December. February, the jury comes together and in 2 rounds selects the national champions and then the international ones. The 22nd of April, Earth Day, we announce the new competition, but also the winners of this competition at the national level. And then 2 weeks later, we announce the award ceremony. For next year, we are working together with the World Economic Forum, so that in the Davos meeting, the 3 international champions will be showcased in sessions with scientists, business people, and so on. Next slide. So it's relatively straightforward. And by the way, we are there to help you. It's very so our team is very experienced in there. The African Academy of Science has been a great help as well. So they also know how to do all that. But if there is a problem, we are there to help you, and you will see our emails at the end. Next slide. Yeah, I said that. Okay, next slide. So this is the resource hub. So on our webpage, you find all this. You find explanations, frequently asked questions, logos, PowerPoints. You find everything that you need to know. So you don't have to worry about it. It's a relatively light process, and we can help universities and academies to do the job here. Next slide. And then in the end, that's my penultimate slide. Why does it matter? Well, we see it as a giant crowdsourcing exercise. So we try to find all over the world the best ideas, the best brains, the best minds, so that we can speed up the search for solutions to keep our planet healthy. We want to do it in an academic competition, so not a venture capital type of competition, because an academic competition is where we are best at. Because we know that if you look at the changes in history for the last 300 to 400 years, every transformation always started with some new scientific discoveries in one way or another. Without electricity, we would not be where we are, but electricity was not invented in the woods. It was invented in labs. So we need to pay tribute here. So we know that if we can only increase the volume of good ideas and of breakthroughs, we are sure that we can keep our planet a healthy place for all life, not only humans, but all life to live on it. Last slide, please. And I like to conclude always by saying that we as foundation, we enable it, but it is a prize that belongs to the world of science. It is your prize as a scientific community. It's the recognition you get from your scientific community, and we are there to help you. There are our emails. You can always write to us. I'm sure we can find an answer to your problem. Thank you very much. And thank you, Marilène. You're muted.
Thank you so much, Prof, for that insight. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we have a few questions in the chat.
In the chat, yeah.
So thank you very much, Professor. So we will now look at the questions that we have here. Let me see. So the Frontiers, so there was a question at the beginning about the Frontiers Planet Prize, but I think that now there are much more information. So please, everyone, if you have any questions to add in the chat. So maybe I think that we could can help with the start talking about the so Professor, you mentioned that there is a need of having published a paper. So within the last 2 years before the submission, and so can you go a little bit more about that, of the criteria about the research to submission, please?
Good question. Sorry, and I probably didn't say enough about it. So in order to make sure that we don't get rubbish, we ask the submission to be based on a peer-reviewed published paper. Because if it is peer-reviewed, it means that your fellows, your peers, consider the work that you propose via the publication in a peer-reviewed journal as standard science, So in order to avoid that, the first year we got hundreds of emails on papers coming from everywhere. I said, no, it has to be a scientifically published paper. And the paper can go back, can be published in 2020. So if you compete for next year, it can be published in 2024 or 2023. So because, if you want to compete at the end of 2024, to 2025 and 2024, sorry, because towards the end of the year, so everything needs to be submitted by the 1st of October, which means that papers published between October and December cannot compete. Well, then they can compete in the edition after it. So it's a gliding target, you know, from the last 2 years. And the paper, having it published in a peer-reviewed journal, guarantees that it has been scientifically screened, that it is not bogus, that it is not made by ChatGPT to make it a little bit more actual. So that's the whole idea. And the paper has to be attached to the nomination, to your submission, and then it goes to the academy, and then it goes to the jury.
Thank you, Professor.
And it can be a paper, I mean, as I said, in the 3 years that we are doing this now, most papers, if not all papers, are written by teams. Science is a collective effort. So you need to make sure that the lead scientist is clearly mentioned in your submission. And most papers are, by definition, multidisciplinary. Why? Because the problem is multidisciplinary. Most of the problems are multidisciplinary. So, of course, if you find a new molecule to substitute concrete, that can be a purely chemical paper. But there, the application is across every sector. So, but most papers are multidisciplinary, multi-author, multidisciplinary. And the level of the journal doesn't matter. Huh? I mean, if it is in Nature, well, good for you. If it is in the West Indian Journal of Chemistry, it's also good, as long as it is peer-reviewed.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Professor, for these clarifications. So I think another question will just build on what you said about the teams. So there have been questions about the lead scientist, and then sometimes there are countries where the research has been done by teams from different institutions. So there were questions about how to do that, yes. And should they go by the institution of the lead scientist?
Yes.
So
you gave the answer, I'm going to hire you, Marilena. You gave the answer. So no. So look at it this way. So let's say I work from Belgium. You work from I think it's East Africa where you're based. And I submit an article via my university where you are a co-author. Then it is my university. You see, that's why you have to discuss it on before. We can also agree amongst each other that you submitted from your East African university and I am the co-author. No problem, but the decision has to be made by you, not by us. So if you submit a paper, you have to do it via a university, and that means you already have to agree with your colleagues. Dear colleagues, I'm going to submit this. That will be done. I am the lead author, and I will do it via my university. And let's go. Now, one of the winners of the international prize last year was an American scholar from Notre Dame University, working with a huge amount of scholars from Senegal. So he said, okay, it's my university, I'm the lead author, I submitted, but the prize money is being used in a way that my co-authors can also benefit from it. We are fine with that, as long as it is used for science. So you see, but we cannot have, there cannot be 2 universities submitting, because you can only do it via one university, one country.
Thank you very much, very clear now. And so we'll still have, I think, 5 minutes for questions, so if there is some time. So there are 2 very interesting questions. So one is asking, how should proceed a non-academic organization to participate?
The answer is no. You have to find a university. We have examples of research labs that submitted, but they do it via the most often people working for a non-academic organization have an academic affiliation. Otherwise, you don't do science. And then they have to submit it via their university.
Thank you. And then another one, I think it will be the last one. It's at this stage, can you assess the involvement of African research institutions and universities in the competition?
So say again, can I?
So I think it's about what has been the participation of African institutions in the competition. Number of participants, what has been the involvement of African institutions in the prize?
Well, the diplomatic answer is that it is encouraging. The real answer is that it is, for me, who has, Peggy knows that I have a sweet spot for Africa. It's by far not enough. I really think there is a huge potential that doesn't know about the prize, that doesn't know about us, which we don't reach. I mean, you know how your continent is. It's not easy. You cannot send just an email to 500 universities in Africa and then hope it comes. So you really need to work with your networks. And that's why we invest so much in the collaboration with you. So for me, it is absolutely not what I think should come out of Africa, given the science that you have, in particular in this topic. You have very good scientists and a lot of scientists. Of course, I mean, 1/3 of the science in this area until recently was published in the US. We will never be able to match that. But now it is only 2 or 3 countries competing from Africa competing, and that can simply not be correct. That is not a reflection of what is available. And that's why these webinars are so important.
And maybe just to complement what you just said, this is why we're having this webinar. The fact that we don't have many Africans, and Professor, Bougounion is very interested in getting more African. And what you showed, you can see that there was a skew. And this is the real reason why we're having this. And also the African Academy of Sciences being continental to be able to convene, and make sure that we are in there to be counted. You have to be there to be counted. And that's why we're here. So we hope you'll also send a message around, and we also need to be proactive, to be part of this, this whole prize. You have to be in it to win it.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't know about the Olympics, you cannot compete in the marathon.
Yeah.
It's very simple. So, but it's up to the national authorities, the universities, with the help of the Olympic Federation that Peggy is chairing. So if we work together, it is simply a matter of mathematics. There will be more competing. And what I also wanted to say today, I hinted at it in the beginning, is that so we are looking into a way where imagine we have 15 participants from Africa this year, and only 3 become national champions. But the academy says, well, there are 15 very good papers, and we have maybe 1 international champion or not. We are working on a system where we can create on a yearly basis the African Planet Prize Conference, where we bring together all those people who made it to the last, and we pay for it. So we are looking for funding there, so that even if you don't make the million, even if you don't become the national champion, which by the way is not bad, because the best 100 scientists elect you as be top of the world, even then there will be some reward in terms for your career by bringing you together in a scientific conference wherever in Africa someone is interested to do it. So we are trying to make it more attractive to do the effort.
And just to add, that is why we're also keen on having the Africa version of the Planet Prize. So that we can run it and we have more people interested, more young people involved, so that, the whole process, will be, up for it, and we'll be able to also, apply for the global prize. So thank you very much for the collaboration, and thank you for the trust in the African Academy of Sciences to do this for Africa. And we hope that those of you online, please send the word around. Get into our website, find out what we're doing. We have the presentations that will be on the website. Access them, ask questions, and see how we can get many more Africans involved. There is a lot of potential in Africa, as he said, but if we don't know it, we can't count it. So we have to be in there to be counted. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
I can only support that, and count on me and my team to help you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So Marilena, your last...
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Otti Boateng. Thank you, Professor Brueggemann, for really all the insights. And I think that you really mentioned how important it is to be part of it. So as Dr. Oti Boateng said, we encourage everyone that was in this call to spread the word, to apply, to register. So as it was said, the edition of the prize is now open, so you can start registering, talking with your institutions. And so if you are interested and have not received the information, you can get back to us. Don't hesitate to send an email and we will share information with you. So the slides, so as it was mentioned, so we will have, this is a recorded webinar. And really, thank you again for joining us. And we really hope that to see many of your institutions participating in this year's prize. Thank you very much.
Okay, and good luck.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yes, thank you. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.